GG.
What's my first name? Like,
Sean
I know we
Becerra.
were like this. I said,
It's tight like that.
Awesome.
Hey,
Thank you.
Brandon, go ahead.
Congratulations. Yep. Congratulations for the win, guys. Yeah, it does go to bang. Obviously, pretty important plays that you made. I'd just like to kind of get your thoughts on your mindset when those kind of rounds come down to just you. What's the team doing in terms of communication for you when you're all alone in those situations, and just kind of how does it play out in your head, before you make those plays?
I think just the team just tells me what I need to know, like the information I need to know. Not really much though. Usually, whenever you're in a 1v, whenever you're alone and the last one alive, they don't really talk too much. But anyway, can you repeat the second part of your question?
Yeah, just kind of what your mindset is like going into those plays. How does it play out in your head before you make the actions that you make? Does it just kind of happen on the fly, or are you kind of processing things before you take those actions?
It depends on how much time I have, but I think mostly so a lot of the stuff happens on the fly, just kind of like off instinct in those situations. I personally feel less pressure whenever on the last one alive, and it's like they have more numbers than I do because I mean I'm not supposed to win anyway, honestly, unless they're on like low HP. So I personally don't feel like it's too high pressure, and also I feel like yeah, the biggest thing is an instinct, nothing else really.
Thank you. We'll go next to Sportskeeda.
Yes, first of all, congratulations on the win, guys. My question is for Boost here. So this was the third face-off between you and PRX, and things got a lot closer than expected. Would you say it was easier this time around or more difficult to win it out, and why?
I mean, I think overall, as a team, 100T, we probably match up better than EG did. This match was like very scrappy. I mean, on our breeze, we looked very good, very dominant. On Sunset, we could work on some stuff. But when it came down to that last Icebox match, it was very scrappy, which that's how it gets when you verse PRX, to be honest. It's always some funny rounds, some crazy shit happening. But I think overall, it was probably easier this time, to be honest. I had more confidence going into the match this time than I did with my old team, EG, because my teammates are just better than my old EG teammates in terms of aim. So, and that's all you need against PRX, to be honest. Like, you don't need that much anti-stratting. You know what they're going to do. It's just you need to out-aim them. And that's what we did today.
Thank you, and good luck on your next match.
Thank you. We'll go next to Rabia at Jinx.tv.
Hey, congratulations on the win today. My question is to Boost you. So next you will be going up against the winner of Team Heretics versus Foot. Which team do you want to play against and why?
Either of them, and we will destroy them for sure. There's no way we lose either of them. I don't care.
Oh, okay.
They're both pretty weak, and we will demolish them for sure. It won't even be close.
That's confidence. Good luck for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Oh my God.
We lose, guys.
Wow.
Please don't let me lose.
We got to stand on business now.
Yeah, I just made you guys stand on business.
You made yourself.
I mean, I won't lose.
You're a pig, bro. I'll lose.
Oh, I'll show you how to lose. Trust me.
You are good at that. Next question?
Yeah. All right. We'll go next to Strafe.
Hi guys. First of all, I'd like to say great job. Even though it went right down to the wire, you guys managed to close it out at the end. This question is for Boostio. So, compared to your match against Genji, the team looked much more convincing today. Do you think this comes down to a stylistic, like the way how you guys play? Like, do you think it comes down to like were you better prepared against PRX, or do you think you're just a better match against this team stylistically?
I think there was a couple things that went into that match. I think the first thing is Genji is harder to read for sure. They're a little slower of a team. But when it came to like our individual team play, yesterday was, fluke. We usually never play like that. Today we showed what we're actually like and like what we have been like the last 2 months. So I want to play Genji again. I think we will beat them the next time we play them. I think they are a very good team, but we just played terrible, or not terrible. We just didn't play like we normally do against them yesterday. That's why we look so different, I guess, in between yesterday and today.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
We'll go next to Brandon at esports.gg.
Awesome. Thanks again. I'll ask this to Coach Zix. Kind of piggybacking off of one of the previous questions regarding having played Paper X so many times in the past. Now that you have kind of that experience with Gen G as well under your belt, we've heard a lot, in the past of kind of regional styles playing a part in Valorant. So I'd just like to ask your thoughts on that, if they're kind of similar, and if you think playing Paper X again today maybe set you up for success if you do meet Gen G again later in the tournament.
Yeah, I'd say that both teams do a lot of unexpected things for sure. In terms of like we'll be doing a usual control that we do, but we'll find out a different way that we could be punished, or they'll be 4-stacked and just gambling properly. And that was a lot of the reason why they were having success in our match previously, along with Paper X today. So I think that's one of the aspects that they're on the same page about, or pretty similar about, but I'd say overall they're definitely very, very different teams in terms of like the types of fights they take, or just how they play individually. So I would say they're same in some ways, different in others.
Thank you. We'll go next to Strafe.
Hi, this question is for the players. So when talking to PRX, they mentioned that timeouts are mostly used to break the momentum of the enemy teams when and wherever required. So in your match in Icebox, PRX forced both the timeouts from your side in the second half. So do you think that there is a strategic aspect to calling timeouts, or do you think it's just for a mental reset?
I mean,
I can talk about it.
you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of our timeouts, I mean, we saved 2, so I wasn't afraid to use one early, especially when we just needed like some time to breathe and kind of just get our mind to be a bit more clear and set like a overall tone for what we wanted to do in the rest of the match. I think momentum is like a big factor for sure, and because we had 2, I wasn't afraid to take one early. So that was the approach there. Yeah, it was just mostly momentum, and then just recentering everybody so they understood what was happening in the game.
I would like to say that Tony's timeouts are really good. For info as well, like
Yeah.
very smart. Like it is very for momentum or whatever, but I would say like 80% of our timeouts aren't for momentum, to be honest. Maybe that one today was, but like it's usually, like countering something that he's been seeing,
Yeah.
to be honest.
The last 2 games that we played against like Gen G and Paper X, they're kind of adapting to a lot of the defaults that we normally do and the way that we play. So we can't just call like a pause for momentum a lot of the time, because we're gonna have to change things in our default that normally work out fine, but they found a gap in. So it's kind of like both.
Yeah.
So I have a follow-up question for the coach. So you mentioned that you mentioned all these different reasons for taking a timeout. Coach Solo from Gen G has mentioned that whenever they're in the lead, sometimes he'll be hesitant to take a timeout, not to break the team's momentum. So do you agree with this sentiment, and also do you want to add something onto it?
Yeah, no, I agree with the overall thought. I mean, it's a lot harder to take a timeout when it's, when you're 6-0 and you went to 6-2 than it is if you were 6-4. It's just always going to be context of how many rounds you lost in a row, if you agree with the call that your IGL made or somebody on your team made. There's a lot of factors into it. But yeah, I mean, I agree with Solo's take.
All right. Thank you so much, and all the best for your upcoming matchup.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions for 100 Thieves in the room? You guys are kind of taking a peek at this match right now between Heretics and Foot. Any thoughts or predictions on these 2 teams?
Heretics comp looks pretty funny.
Where?
It's Heretics is using our composition here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But pick Bind.
Foot changed their comp to Gecko.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd noticed that as
But pick Bind. I'd love to play Bind against these teams.
Yeah.
I'd love.
Foot griefed that pistol around horrendously,
Yeah, I saw
and
that,
I
by the way.
audibly gasped.
I lost the 4v2, right?
I will
But
say,
Heretics also was griefing that pistol because Boo just missed a point blank shorty shot.
Nice.
I will say there's a lot of parallels with our bind with EG's Fracture last year. And it's funny because what happened a lot with Fracture last year was people started trying to copy our comp. And when we play against teams that try to copy our comp, it always is just the funniest thing to see our execs happening to us. But we know all of the counters, so
Yeah.
we will be very confident going into either one of these
Our,
matches.
our bind is pretty bad. And I hope people don't ban it.
Yeah.
It's not like EG's Fracture. EG Fracture was like
close.
good.
I mean, we lost to G2.
We
Yeah,
did.
sure.
It's
Yeah,
not good.
G2 fucking owned
GT
it.
knows how to play.
That
it.
upper five.
G2 is
They should pick
nice.
it. Who picked it?
But
Oh, Food should pick it against.
Yeah, they
yeah,
should.
no, we picked it against them last time, but I mean,
Yeah, but that puts
Okay.
a better stylistic match.
Okay.
okay, all right.
Thank you guys.